The dairy market, notorious for volatility, saw wild price swings in 2020, and much is unknown about the potential for profit in 2021. The dairy industry as a whole responded quickly to market disruptions caused by the closing of restaurants and schools in March of last year.
That transition period was particularly troubling, right? You can't flip a switch and immediately take all of the processing of milk for school lunches and turn it into gallons for people to take home. Changes on farm, people kind of changed nutrition, they made some decisions about culling, and you saw milk production per cow and number of cows go down.
That reduction in production drove milk prices upwards a few months later, reaching highs unseen since 2014. But slow sales to restaurants and schools remain a drag on the industry, forcing wholesale prices back below $20 per hundredweight. Widmar believes the pace of COVID-19 vaccination will be a major influence on dairy prices throughout 2021.
And then the big question that's every market, what's normal? When do we return to normal? Is there a normal? And how does that pertain to how we spend money, eat out, et cetera? On the negative side, so downward pressure in the dairy markets, it's a recession that's not just US based.
The global economic recovery will also determine how much of the United States dairy surplus will find a home abroad. Exports have risen in recent years, and the industry looks to maintain that momentum. Part of the surplus is a result of the growth in domestic dairy production, which rose 3% in 2020, despite some farms reducing output to adjust to supply chain bottlenecks.
Year in, year out, we need a little bit of production growth to kind of keep up with changes in consumption, right? So we change the products that we eat in terms of the product mix, but in general, we need something between 1.5 and 2 probably percent of annual growth just to kind of keep up with the growth in demand.
An increase in feed costs may hurt margins, as higher grain prices appear to be a constant factor in the equation through this coming summer. The tight margins can be difficult for small and medium-sized dairies to manage. Many producers who also raise crops have to decide on whether to feed or sell their grain from the 2020 growing season.
We're seeing people add some cow numbers, and those things don't reverse super quickly. So I would expect, you're going to have an increase in milk production. And my big question mark is, one is, how much demand are you going to have within the country in terms of restaurant and at home? The other big one is, what about export markets? What's the rest of the world going to do? Are we going to have product that's competitive to sell? And what are the recoveries in other places look like so that people are actually demanding those products?
From Market to Market, I'm Peter Tubbs.